A miracle after a deadly collapse.
I saw an arm sticking out of the wreckage.
As a hero saves a 10-year-old boy from the rubble. Search continues after that rescue. The network taking you deep inside the collapsed condo building. Waiting for word.
You never lose hope. I'm not losing my hope.
Loved ones gathering and praying for any update on the missing. Plus, leaders from the local,
their locations are known,
state,
shepherding people to safety,
and national governments
ready to move,
sending resources to Surfside. These stories and more coming up on Newsbreak.
Hello, South Florida. I'm Zitlali Solache, and today is Friday, June 25th, 2021.
From the South Florida Media Network's Biscayne Bay studios in North Miami, this is SFMN Newsbreak.
Sorrow in Surfside this morning after the deadly collapse of the condo tower there. At this hour, 4 are confirmed dead and dozens are still missing. South Florida Media Network's team coverage of the tragedy begins with Erica Jimenez. She reports from the scene at the collapse.
A massive search and rescue effort is underway following the partial collapse of the Champagne Towers in Surfside.
I saw an arm sticking out of the wreckage, and he was screaming, can you see me? He was just screaming, don't leave me, don't leave me. Wanted to stay with him, make sure that, we got fire and police over there.
Emergency crews responded to the Champagne Towers at around 1:30 a.m. on Thursday. This building has 136 units, 55 of them collapsed. Nearby security footage shows the moment part of the building collapsed, leaving behind a huge pile of rubble and dangling materials of the structure. On Thursday, Mayor Ron DeSantis declared state of emergency. He and other community leaders gathered to see the destruction.
And the TV doesn't do it justice. It is really, really traumatic to see the collapse of a massive structure like that.
The governor also thanked the fire and rescue department, saying they were hard at work. He also said he had hoped to be able to identify additional survivors. President Joe Biden offered additional resources for the Sunshine State.
I say to the people of Florida, whatever help you want that the federal government can provide, we're waiting. Just ask us, we'll be there.
I'm Erica Jimenez with the South Florida Media Network.
Many are still concerned for the safety of their family members this morning. As many as 159 people are still missing. The network's Helen Acevedo reports from the Reunification Center and spoke to some of these relatives.
Today, families hold on to hope, desperately searching for answers and updates from authorities at the Family Reunification Center. On Thursday morning, Miami-Dade Fire Rescue set up the center at 9301 Collins Avenue for those who are looking for unaccounted or missing relatives as a result of the Champagne Towers partial building collapse. Yubi Cartes says she was directed to the center when she called about her relatives, the Pettigil family who were on the 10th floor of the building that collapsed. I came to see if they can give me information. If I have to stay here, I'll stay until I know something.
Only God is the one who saved them. So you never lose hope. I'm not losing my hope.
Like Cartes, Yancy Rinaldi was in desperate need of answers and remained optimistic as she searched for her longtime friends, the Velasquez family, which were on the 3rd floor.
We've been trying to locate them since around 4 o'clock in the morning. I have not been able to reach them. None of our friends. We've had a group trying to find them, posting on Facebook and everything, and we have not been able to find them yet. So we're hopeful they turn up soon. This is a nightmare that we can't wake up from.
Miami-Dade Fire Rescue is asking that those who live at Champagne Towers complete a wellness check form as part of their efforts to ensure that all tenants of the building are located. The Red Cross, along with other agencies, has been here all morning providing these people with food, water, and blankets, anything that they need to make this very difficult time a little bit easier. In Surfside, Helen Acevedo, South Florida Media Network.
There was another update on the investigation this morning. The network's Alejandra Garcia is in the control center with what we've learned.
Salali, within the last hour, officials wrapped up the first news conference of the day. Among the people who spoke, Mayor Levine Cava.
As we work tirelessly and stand united, local, municipal, county, state, and now federal support, we are going to work as hard as we can to continue our search and rescue effort. That is our priority. That is where we're focused, and protecting our first responders who are on the scene. We do have 120 people now accounted for, which is very, very good news. But our unaccounted for number has gone up to 159. In addition, we can tragically report the death count is now 4.
This is a difficult time for everybody, whether you're here locally or you're seeing these images 3,000 miles away. So one of the things that we really encourage folks is really take time for yourself. Go to our website, redcross.org. We've got a ton of information there just on how folks can really help to manage their own coping with this, as well as just how to have the conversations with children that may be seeing these images, asking a lot of questions. And then we also will be bringing that same level of community support here so that we can actually also focus on the community resilience as we move forward.
As you just saw, the search and rescue mission continues this Friday morning. As we said earlier, the updated death toll is 4 and 159 people are still unaccounted for. In the Control Center, Alejandra Garcia, South Florida Media Network.
The search and rescue effort continues in an attempt to locate hundreds of residents still unaccounted for, many of which are members of the Jewish community.
You can't explain it, so let's start from there. There's no rationality for it. Anybody that gives you a rational reason for it is an idiot. This is something that transcends our capacity for understanding. It's a reality, we accept it, and we have to learn as we do in our culture, our resilience, and to move forward.
The Shul of Bal Harbor in Surfside is working with the community to provide aid, calling for toiletries and blankets for survivors. Local religious communities remain hopeful that rescuers will find people alive. Members of the Miami Heat showing their support for the Surfside community. A couple of Miami Heat players as well as members of the coaching staff showed up at the Family Reunification Center yesterday. The players were Tyler Hero and Chris Quinn. They helped bring supplies for the first responders and those waiting on updates on their missing relatives. With South Florida's focus on the tragedy in Surfside, there's other news happening around the nation today. Here's what's still ahead.
There are 5 different reasons why the ordinary sentence for second-degree murder, why that shouldn't be enough.
We'll have more on today's sentencing for George Floyd's murder. Former Officer Derek Chauvin, plus news on George Floyd's statues that have been vandalized just before the hearing begins. Newsbreak will be back in 2 minutes.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Maybe it's just the little moments. If I could go back and change it all, if I could go back, I would. But I can't.
Doesn't see race. Love is love.
Roll over. Chance high five. All right.
When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover all the things that make them unique.
And your mother and...
I am totally a hot person. Right, guys? Thanks for being honest. They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love. Adopt pure love at theshelterpetproject.org.
Today I'm going to talk to you about physics. Come on in, girls. Let's go. This is the first rocket to get humans to Mars. Really tall. I'm a rocket structural engineer, designing and building parts of the rocket. You are the generation that will be stepping foot on Mars. Do I have a group of astronauts on my hands? Yes. You can become a rocket scientist or whatever else you want to be.
It's sentencing day for the convicted murderer responsible for the death of George Floyd. Derek Chauvin faces sentencing after being found guilty for Floyd's murder. The prosecution now asking for Chauvin to serve at least 30 years in prison.
There are 5 different reasons why the ordinary sentence for second-degree murder, why that shouldn't be enough. That should be more.
Many are demanding a longer prison sentence due to Chauvin abusing a position of authority and treating Floyd with cruelty. The defense is pushing for a new trial and Chauvin's release. Meanwhile, the community and George Floyd's loved ones look forward to the next chapter. 2 statues, which were just unveiled for Juneteenth in honor of George Floyd, were vandalized after Derek Chauvin's sentencing. One is in Brooklyn, New York, and the other in Newark, New Jersey. The graffiti was discovered early yesterday morning, and in both of the statues, the name of a white supremacist group is shown. The New York Police Department Hate Crimes Unit is investigating this vandalism. That's all the time we have for Newsbreak. I'm Zitlali Solache. Get more news anytime at sfmn.fiu.edu.